Hi everybody, it's crazy, it's Monday, and it's time for the UPBGE video of the week. Now before I get started, gotta give a shout out to my trusted, because you guys rock, to my crazy fam. I love you guys. Now, we're up to episode number 128, and last week we left off with stereo settings on page 59, okay? And we haven't done anything with the files yet, because of the fact that, there hasn't been any file work done. We're just going over some information. But I mean, this is just to gain some, more Python information to probably use for later use. So, with that being said, let's get started. Okay, so stereo settings. All right, get eye separation and set eye separation. Okay, so that means to get the current eye separation for the stereo mode. Usually focal length is 30, provides a comfortable value, or greater than, or divided by 30. Okay. Get focal length and set focal length. Get the current focal length for stereo mode. It uses the current camera focal length as initial value. Okay. Material settings. Okay, it's get material mode, and set material mode. Right, which means get or set the material mode to use for OpenGL rendering. The available modes are KX text face material, KX Blender multi-text material, KX Blender GLSL material. Okay, so that's what that is set for. It's get GLSL material setting, and get GLSL material settings enable. Okay, so get and set the state of a GLSL material setting. The available settings are lights, shaders, shadows, ramps, nodes, extra slash underscore textures. Okay, now we go into others. Okay, and another is like draw line from vector, okay, to vector, and the color of the line. Draw a line in the 3D scene. So basically, if you put draw a line and you specify a vector point to go from and a vector point to go to, and assign it a color, it will draw that colored line somewhere on your screen, depending on what the vector was, and the from vector and the to vector. Okay. All right. Enable motion blur factor and disable motion blur. Disable the motion blue effect. Okay, a lot of people like motion blur. It's up to you if you ever want to put that in your game. Make screenshot file name. Okay, write a screenshot to the given file name. Okay, so you can actually take a screenshot of your game window, which is this little window right here. If I wanted to make a screenshot, I can actually put make screenshot, and then put in the brackets, put a file name that I want to put it to, like screenshot.png, and it will put it to that file, and it will show that picture right there. Okay. Now BGE events. Now this one's a fun one because events are pretty fun. All right. So the keyboard sensor allows you to set individual keys. As you can see in the figure I'm about to show you, it can also be triggered by any key once you enable the option all keys. This is very useful to configure text input in your game, or to centralize all keyboard events with a single sensor and script. Okay, and I'm going to switch over to here and show you what they're talking about. Is the key and stuff, and then all you're doing is using all keys. Okay, it's about the same thing as what it's talking about. Okay. All right. So in this case, every key pressed into a keyboard sensor will be registered as a unique integer. Each number corresponds to a specific key, and finding them always allows you to control your actions according to the desired key map. In order to clarify this a bit more, try the file book chapter 7 5 game keys key detector logic brick dot blend. So let's go on over there. Okay, we're going to hit open. All right, we're going to go into 5 game keys. Chapter 7, 5 game keys. And which one? Key detector logic brick dot blend. Okay, so that's this one right here. Give me a second. I need a drink. Okay, so let's see. All right, so this file is similar to the key detector python dot blend we use to determine the bge.logic.keyboard. However, this file is using the keyboard sensor directly instead of its wrapper. Okay, so basically from here, okay, we're doing import bge.logic, import bge.events. Okay, we also have the controller, the owner, and the sensor. If you notice that the S underscore keyboard is the name of the sensor, okay, and if you look here, you'll notice that it says S underscore keyboard, and it is a sensor. Okay, so this information is about the same thing as if you had this in code form. Okay, now you get a key list, and you have this set to all keys, so it can recognize that it's looking up all keys. Okay. All right, so if this sensor is positive, and again, as you continue on, we're going to read on about this, okay? This script is called every time someone presses a key. The key or keys are registers as a list of events, each one being a list with the pressed key and its status. In this case, we are reading only the first pressed key. Press key equals sensor.event00. Okay, so that one is, where's it at? Press key, that's this little guy right here. Okay, so since the events, event or events, that's what it'll be. Okay, and it says this line stores the integer that identifies the pressed key. Okay, however, we usually would need to know the actual pressed key, not its integer or internal integer value. Therefore, we are using the only 2 functions available in this module to convert our keys to an understandable value. Okay, and as you see, it's text key dot the key number is, and then it says the key number. Okay, this right here will print the key number, and it says pressed key. Okay, now here it will show a couple of things. Event to string press key and event to character press key. All right, and if you scroll a little bit over, it'll show you what all this is. Yeah, I got it all the way up. Okay, oops. There you go. And this is just telling you key codes and capitalize and flag. Okay, that's all it's doing. It's just telling you that. All right, so after that, we are checking for a specific key, the spacebar. bge.events.space key is actually an integer. To find the other keys names, visit the API page. Okay. And so let's see here. If press key, so if press key equals events.space. Okay, and then it says please press any key. Okay, and voila, now we only need to visualize the pressed key. Okay, owner.text equals text. All right, so key status. The status of a key is what informs you whether the key has been just been pressed or if it was pressed already. The keyboard sensor is always positive as long as any key is held, and you may need to trigger different functions when some keys are pressed and released. The status values are actually stored in bge.logic. Okay, and that's it for that part. But what they're talking about, and I'm going to switch over here to it. There we go. Okay, so you get 0 equals bge.logic.input equals none. So if it's 0, it won't have any key press. 1, bge.logic.input just activated. 2 is input active. Okay, and 3 is input just released. So it'll be no key pressed, key held, and key released. Okay, so that's what they are. That's what they equal. Okay, so see, how far are we along? Yeah, we're right at about 10 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it off. Let me see if I can switch back over without messing it all up. We're going to leave off with BGE.texture for next week. Play around with this little program and see what it does. Hit play and type keys and see what it does. Okay, that's the only way you're going to learn. As you see on these, they show 0. So let me go ahead and switch out of those. Go back to here. When you're doing, programming, you're gonna mess up. Okay, you're gonna mess something up. You're gonna tear it up. You're gonna put something in wrong. You're gonna add a comma where it should add a colon, or a colon where it should add a comma, or a period where it should add a comma, so on and so forth. Okay, don't worry about it. Learn from your mistakes. It's very simple. Once you get used to playing with code, you'll get to understanding it a little bit more. And what we'll do is next week we'll start off with BGE.textures, and that is on page 62. So until next week.